This is FutureDad 0, Preface. Quote, "Ideas are more powerful than guns. We would not let our enemies have guns. Why should we let them have ideas?" End quote. Joseph Stalin. These essays were originally intended for my future children, but I decided not to let them suffer alone. They are published so that everyone who wants to can read, fully expecting that only a minority will enjoy or accept. The audience who will benefit the most are men. For many men younger than 30, the ideas are harsh and will flatly contradict what you hear from legacy media. Good. I've caught you just in time before you do something harmful to your own future. You are most in danger of losing everything if you don't change. If you're older than 30, then I hope the ideas reaffirm what you've already begun to suspect at some level. For most men of all ages, these essays will be deeply offensive. That is not my concern. But in a show of goodwill, in this paragraph only, I will pretend to empathize with your manufactured heart. Perhaps, if you can still see through the tears, go to the special room in your house you've designated for such times and sit there tearful and offended. Once you've recovered from that surplus emotion, come back and read some more. Rinse and repeat. By and large, especially large, women won't like or benefit from these essays, but may understand men better from reading them. That's a useful outcome on its own. However, if you too find yourself getting really offended, maybe you already are just from reading this preface, then I encourage you to complain about the offending essay to a responsible male friend. Ask him to read it for himself, then you can both be offended together. Real friends do things together, as I point out in FutureDad 10, even your best friends are temporary. Anyway, regardless of your age or gender, the intent is not to offend because I couldn't do that even if I tried. It's impossible. You decide that part. Offence is taken, not given. However, as we all know, there are many people waiting to board the packed, offended bus, so I may have to use word substitution to avoid the censorious eye of Sauron. It depends on the platform. If word substitution or abbreviation is still not enough, then these essays will never see the light of day. So be it. I will not meaningfully self-censor. If the essays do make it through, what are they for? The ultimate purpose of the essays is twofold: evaluation and preparation. Evaluation: I will tackle a range of mostly controversial and crucial topics to help you assess where you stand with each. Preparation: if you do need to adjust your readiness in light of that evaluation, what do you need to do? Especially in the midst of a dying and potentially hostile society. So for that reason also, some of the topics will depart from unborn son guidance to complete political diatribe. It's as useful that you hear a countervailing voice as it is straight up practical guidance, even so you know you're not alone. With that in mind, if you yearn for some light reading and you prefer not to think too deeply about our world and your place in it, stop reading, listening now, and do something else. I'll use a food metaphor because there's a decent chance if you're in the West that you're overweight and already thinking of your next snack. Here goes. A casual nibble of these essays will not satisfy, but neither should you try to swallow them all in one go. I prefer that you chew carefully, attempt to digest and eventually take action. The main purpose of food, lest we forget, is to convert it to energy and movement. Treat these essays the same. Finally, everyone lives, but not everyone makes sense of it. Even fewer convey productive, actionable steps to the next generation. Many older people, when asked for guidance based on life experience, have a tendency to speak in vague platitudes. So I'll be as specific as I can with my guidance which is born from learning painful facts about the world as it is, not as it is claimed to be. Pain is a great teacher. probably the best. Consequently, some of the pills I dispense in these essays will be of a dark red, often close to black hue. I will at the same time resist the ever-increasing tendency towards total despair, because there are still many things worth fighting for. To conclude, I am counting that in the fullness of time you will use these essays, my ideas and my guidance to accelerate your emotional, psychological and physical self-mastery. Future Dad.